am Legacy Moon, and this is True Crime and Mysteries. Welcome back, current subscribers, new subscribers, and those of you who are here for the very first time. I would like to, before I get in the video, let everyone know that we are currently working on Code Get Me to 2,000 here on this channel. So what I need for you to do is to share this with 105 of your friends, family members, and foes, and help me reach that threshold. Yesterday, phone calls from prison dropped calls on Wade Wilson. And I listened to those calls. Actually, I think they dropped Friday. Anyhow, I listened to those calls and I was so disturbed that I did a reaction video. I will have that link in the bio. I will also have the link to Phone Calls from Prison's channel, just in case you want to listen to the calls without my commentary. After I became deeply disturbed by what I heard in the calls and did my reaction video, I decided that I should probably go back and just cover a little bit about Wade Wilson and his story. It's a case that at first I wasn't interested in, but now I kind of am. So let's get into it. The man that you see before you is named Wade Wilson, and he has been dubbed the Deadpool unaliver. Now, I did not know why he got this name or how he got this name until I did my live and I was informed. Some of you may be unaware of what Deadpool means and all of that, just like I was. So I'm going to explain it to you. Deadpool is a character that appears in the comic book published by Marvel Comics. It was created by Fabian Nexza. I probably pronounced that wrong, but forgive me. And Rob Liefeld. The character first appeared in New Mutants, number 98, December 1990. Now, I am not and never have been into comic books, so that reference of when it appeared and the issue number might be something that other people get, but I don't. In his comic book appearance, Deadpool is depicted as a supervillain of the New Mutants and X-Force. After a while, stories would begin to portray him as an anti-hero. Deadpool is the alter ego of Wade Wilson, a disfigured Canadian mercenary with superhuman regenerative abilities. Since I was doing the research and giving a brief summary, I thought I would just throw in a couple of extra tidbits, such as the aliases of Deadpool. They are Merch with a Mouth, Regenerating Degenerative, Deadpool, Jack, Wade T. Wilson, Menthras, hopefully I pronounced that right, Johnny Silvini, Tom Cruise, Hulkpool, Wildcard, Zenpool, and Weapon XL. He also has a handful or two of abilities, and they are superhuman strength, speed, durability, stamina, agility, and reflexes. Regenerative healing factors. I don't know why I keep stumbling over that. Anyhow, extended longevity. Fourth wall breaks, whatever that means. Skilled marksman, swordsman, martial artist, and hand-to-hand combat. He also has the ability to use devices granting teleportation, and he is a master assassin. Now, if you look at this character in the photo, if you look at Wade Wilson, the real life Wade Wilson, if you look at his photos, you can see that his face resembles the same disfigurement as Deadpool. Thus, how he got the name, the Deadpool Unaliver. In October 2019, Wade Wilson unalived 2 Florida women. One woman's name was Christine Milton. She was 35 years old at the time of her unaliving, and she was found in her home by her mother. The other victim was 43-year-old Diane Ruiz, and she was found in an empty lot. That same month, Wade Wilson was arrested. He was actually turned in by his father, who he confessed the crimes to. After 5 long years, Wade Wilson went to trial in June of 2024 and has been found guilty by a jury of his peers. The jury has recommended the death penalty. He goes back at the end of this month, August 2024, I believe on the 27th, he will go before the judge to hear the judge's decision. I will definitely have my eyes and ears open for that because I'm curious to see what the judge will actually give him. Now, if you watch my video that I did on the jail calls, you will know and hear that he wanted the death penalty and he just wanted an end to it all. However, the shenanigans that have taken place, like before trial and after, tells me a different story. Another thing that you will find out is that Wade Wilson seems to be getting a lot of friend requests from women. To my surprise, the judge is getting letters from all of the lands across the lands asking him to please spare his life. I'm going to read to you one of the letters that the judge received, and I will also post it on my community wall. Dear Judge Thompson, I hope this letter finds you well. I am writing to respectfully request your consideration in sentencing Wade Wilson to life without parole rather than the death penalty. As someone who cares unconditionally for Wade, I have deeply reflected on the gravity of the situation and the impact of your decision. While I understand the severity of the crime committed, I believe that a life sentence will allow Wade the opportunity to reflect, repent, and contribute positivity within the confines of prison. Furthermore, a life sentence would provide his family, along with myself, the chance to maintain a relationship with Wade. It would allow us to visit, correspond, and continue to offer emotional support, a privilege that I would be lost with the death penalty. I implore you to consider the broader implications of your decision on both Wade's life and our family's well-being. Choosing life without parole would not only uphold justice, but also preserve our humanity in difficult time. We are committed to supporting Wade through this journey of atonement and rehabilitation, wherever it may lead. Thank you for considering my perspective and for your attention to this matter. I trust in your wisdom and judgment as you deliberate on this critical issue. Now, me, personally, I am not for the death penalty. I say put people in jail, throw away the key. I just don't think it should be man's decision to decide to enforce this penalty, even though, his victims didn't have a decision. They were unalive. But it's just something within me that I can't see. It's almost like making one wrong a right, I guess you could say. I know the saying is 2 wrongs don't make a right, but it just seems like, and I know the Bible with an eye for an eye, what is that, Old Testament? But it goes against me. And I can say, I have had a family member who has been unalived by the hands of someone else. And I don't want to see death for him. I want him to be in jail for the rest of his life. And not only that, pictures on the wall of my cousin and the rest of his victims. And he should have to stare at them in his cell until he leaves this earth. On another note, if you listen to those jail calls, it makes you wonder, did Mila write this? And if you have heard him, you know what I mean. If there is anybody out there who is wondering what's been going on with Wade Wilson since he's been convicted, well, worry no more, because I am going to tell you. Since the month of June, Wade Wilson has received over 4,000 messages, 754 photos, 163 of those were rejected, 3,903 messages. He's accepted 279 connection requests and 65 posts in the mail. In case anybody is wondering why those 163 photos were rejected, worry no more. I am going to tell you. According to the sheriff's office, I said according and not according. According to the sheriff's office, they say that those photos were rejected because they were of an inappropriate nature. So we've got people across the world, and when I say world, I just mean here in the States, writing the judge, wanting leniency, or I should say a life sentence. And then we have these random women, we have these women just sending photos and friend requests and all of these things. I could go on and on about his attempted jail escape in 2020 and all of the other things that goes along with this case. But I will save that for another video. You'll just have to check me out again and find out. Before I get on out of here, I would like to let you see a photo of what Wade Wilson looked like before all of the facial tattooing. Seeing this picture of Wade Wilson makes me wonder, when did he get the tattoos? Did he get them in prison? Did he get them out of prison? Why did he decide to get them at all? I don't know. But like I said, I'm going to do some more diving into this case. We are going to be looking at some highlights of the trial and whatever else I may happen to find on Mr. Wade Wilson.
This man, Wade Wilson, is accused of brutally murdering two Cape Coral women, Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz. He's been in jail since 2019 awaiting trial. And recently, he sent us dozens of letters with some wild accusations. Tonight, for the first time ever, and from jail, he's talking, and it's with NBC2 anchor Kyla Gaylor.
These are all the letters Wade Wilson has written to NBC2 over the last 6 months. He really wanted to talk with us. I know what you're thinking. Why would we listen to a man accused of some pretty heinous crimes? A man with a long rap sheet at that. Well, we found out he may be involved in even more than we once realized. Wade Wilson had a lot to say in his first and only on-camera interview since he was indicted on murder charges more than 3 years ago. And I had a lot of questions. Did you kill Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No surprise there, considering he pleaded not guilty. He seemed confident, even smug at times while sporting his orange jumpsuit and new face tattoos.
I'm not a monster. Yeah, I'm not a saint either by any means. I've made bad decisions in the past, of course.
While Wilson is accused of taking 2 lives, he claims to have tipped off investigators about a plot to kill another woman while behind bars. According to an arrest report late last year, Tristan Gendron asked Wilson to help kill the mother of his child, so his domestic abuse charges would be dropped. Wilson couldn't do it himself. He was in jail. But Gendron asked if his crew on the outside could.
He just thought that I was the person to ask for that.
This is a copy of the note Gendron wrote Wilson in jail with details of the hit job. It came with a $200,000 payout. Gendron said the money was in a safe at Gendron's funeral and cremation services in Fort Myers.
People would accept $10,000, $200,000, surely, but I'm not that type of person.
Instead, he reported it to the state attorney's office and became a sworn witness.
I don't know her personally whatsoever from a can of paint, but it doesn't matter. She's a person.
Investigators later found out there was a safe at the funeral home with cash inside, and those security codes in the note were accurate. The funeral director said the murder for hire charges are BS. As you might imagine, anyone tied to Wilson isn't keen on talking. The state attorney's office can't. We don't know all the evidence it has, but it's enough for prosecutors to go for the death penalty.
It doesn't worry me. It worries me only because of the level of corruption around here. Fort Myers that I was involved with.
We learned some of that evidence may include a confession, which Wilson says he was forced to make after he was charged.
When coming to jail, I knew that I had to get something out there as far as a confession because I was told to do that. Otherwise, my parents were going to be harmed. My children were going to be harmed.
Wilson's own father spoke on the record. He told investigators Wilson called him after spending the night with Christine Melton, asking for help. She was a server at a Cape Coral bar. Wilson's father said his son admitted to strangling Melton while she was sleeping and then rolled her up in a carpet. Wilson admits he met Melton at a bar the night before she was found dead and slept at her house, but claims she was alive when he left in her car. He told his dad he then picked up a lady, asked for directions, then choked her and ran her over so many times he made her look like spaghetti.
I was forced. That wasn't a call that I willingly wanted to make.
Investigators say that other woman was mother of 2, Diane Ruiz.
But as far as Diane Ruiz, I never ran across her, never seen her, and there's nothing that will say otherwise than that.
Wilson only briefly mentions Ruiz and Melton in his letters, never giving these women the dignity of saying their names, just that he was set up. He talks more often about a high-profile case of another Cape Coral woman, Lauren DeMolo, who hasn't been seen since June of 2020. Wilson admits he is trying to save his life, but it will be up to a jury to figure out fact from fiction. Are you just trying to discredit the people who are testifying against you at trial?
Absolutely not. No, I'm just trying to tell the truth.
Wilson and I covered a number of topics, more than we had time to show you and more than we could legally air. Overall, it really seemed like he is trying to bring these things up to save his own skin. Wilson's attorney filed a motion earlier this month to remove himself as counsel due to a conflict of interest. He said their relationship was so ruptured they couldn't move forward. I reached out to that attorney a number of times, but I never heard back. Wilson claims he was part of an organized crime ring. And coming up at 11, we'll tell you how that conspiracy also involved Lauren DeMolo, a local spa, and a former sheriff.
I know her family really, really wants to know what happened to her.
And I'll have more answers from Cape Coral Police, too, because I talked to them about this case as well.